Hello gainers, I'm Ralphie and welcome to my channel called Fit of Philosophy, in which I share practical philosophy, experience-based stoic stuff, which is less about books on shelves in libraries, in academia and universities and colleges, and more about actually the observation and the experience of living life. The simple stuff, and yet simple is so profound, simple is so empowering. And the way we can empower ourselves is to view ourselves carefully through the passage of time, to become expert at self-observation, to identify our weaknesses, to identify our strengths, and to strengthen our strengths over time, and to weaken our weaknesses over time. And in this video I'm going to focus on weakening our weaknesses. When we're kids, our weaknesses manifest selfishness, greed, argumentativeness, lack of concentration, selfishness, typical kids actually. But as we get older, as we mature into teenagers and get into young adulthood, we do notice that we're learning from the feedback we get from friends, relatives and the general community around us. And we also have more time to get to know ourselves. Are we extrovert? Are we introvert? Are we practical people? Are we more sort of administrative type of people? Are we comfortable with a more routine, boring job? Or do we have to are we more comfortable with a proactive, outdoors, sensible kind of productive job? I mean, there's quite a range of jobs out there, and nothing's worse than if we find ourselves in the wrong lane, doing a job which is not suited to us and we're not suited to it. We don't have a dress rehearsal much in life. We can make mistakes when we're younger and we can recover for them, but as time goes on, if we haven't addressed the weaknesses and the mistakes that we make from not addressing our weaknesses, they will compound and they will get worse. So it's very important, as soon as we can identify it, to know what our personal weaknesses are and to weaken them. I'll give you an example. I'm not good with heights. I have a bad head for heights. Therefore, I do not go mountain climbing. I do not do it. I'm also a bit claustrophobic, and therefore, I do not go caving. Although I'm quite happy to take a few risks, you will not find me skydiving every weekend, because I know myself. Some people are looking for the adrenaline rush. I'm not one of them. I'm much more kind of laid back. I'm much more observational in life. I'm aware of it. I like reading books. I like going to the gym. I like doing a bit of archery. I like slowing things down in life a little bit and observing things a little more passively and closely. And therefore, I know my weaknesses and I know my strengths. And in weakening my weaknesses by avoiding the things that trigger my weaknesses, or by strengthening my weaknesses, or say for example, I'm not a good speller, and therefore I'm very conscientious about using spell checker and checking the spelling of words. Not always, as a book writer, I've still got mistakes in my book, but hey ho, that's real life. There comes a cut-off point. You just say, let it go, let it be. But I know what my weaknesses are, and we all should. It's a superpower. And we can't really strengthen our strengths and play to our skills, aptitudes and ambitions unless we can do the opposite and weaken our weaknesses. Avoiding the situations or understanding the situations where our weaknesses manifest as weaknesses. If we don't have a head for heights, if we're not good at counting, if we're not particularly patient with situations that require patience, particularly with other people, are we sociable, unsociable? Furthermore, when we're young, we try and change our own shape to fit in and adapt ourselves to fit in with the environment we find ourselves in or feel that we should be in. And as we get older, we can say, stuff that, I'm not changing my shape. The more honest I am with myself, the better. Therefore, I'm going to continue, because it's an ongoing process, to weaken my weaknesses and strengthen my strengths. And I'm going to give you 3 tips to help you weaken your weaknesses. 1, first know what they are and be honest with yourself. And when you do, avoid the triggers that cause your weaknesses to influence your life too much. Secondly, if you know what your weaknesses are, you can practice disempowering them. For example, if you're not good with mental agility, do a few puzzles, have a game of chess, something like that. Not complex, and don't be frightened of losing the game if you're doing it with a computer. It's real life. It's all about being patient, practice, persevering with yourself. And thirdly, to weaken your weaknesses, it's to reward yourself and acknowledge when you have undermined your weaknesses and disempowered your weaknesses, because automatically, as a result of that, you have strengthened your strength. I'm Ralphie. I hope you've enjoyed this. In the next video, and you pop back again, because I'm sure you will, I will be talking about how you can strengthen your strengths. I'm Ralphie, and thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching my video. Click subscribe, click like, leave a comment. We'll see you soon, gainers.